Right, okay, we will get started. Hello, everybody. How are we all today? I can see we have another few new attendees on here again, so welcome. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. Hope you're all safe and well. So today, we're going to be talking all about SeaDream Cruises, who specialise in yacht style cruising. They really are a great product. We're going to be joined by Natalie. She's a sales director for the UK. So during the presentation, as we always do, you'll get an insight into life on board, find out about new itineraries on offer, current promotions, and of course, our exclusive event offer to use towards a future booking. So I know a few of you obviously are regular attendees of our weekly webinars. For those of you who are new today, I'll give you a little introduction into who we are. My name's Catherine. I'm one of the connoisseurs here at Panache. So we specialise in elite ocean, river, expedition and yacht style cruising. And although we are fairly new as a company, we do come with a wealth of knowledge and experience. Our founder, James Cole, as some of you might know, he is a real cruise industry veteran and the founder of some successful cruise brands. He wanted to launch Panache to be able to refocus on the customer experience. So he's brought together a great team of experts. You are in very good hands with us. Our ethos here at Panache is that nothing is too much trouble. So we will take care of all the finer details for you. We don't have an admin team or call options. You simply dial and get through. You'll deal with the one connoisseur throughout, who will be your point of contact from beginning to end. So we'll handle your booking, send invoices and tickets, deal with any requests that you may have, whether that's adding in the dining reservations, booking shore excursions, flight seats, whatever it is that's important to you, we will make sure that we work with you on a one-to-one basis and have everything covered. We also have our book with confidence messages, so low deposits, reduced prices, relaxed payment terms. It really is a great time to be booking. So any customers that are worried about securing a holiday, we at Panache operate an ATOL approved customer trust account, which means that your money is completely safe with us. You've got 100% financial protection. So we'll get started with the presentation. Any questions as we go through, just use the chat function at the bottom of the screen and I will answer any questions at the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions, just let me know as we're going through it. I'll hand you over to Natalie. I'll go through everything with you. So enjoy the presentation. I'll speak to you at the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So hello, my name's Natalie, and the plan is today is going to bring a little bit of Caribbean sunshine into your living rooms, because I'm looking out the window and there's a little bit of a hideous day out there today. So if you've never traveled on a luxury yacht before, what is that experience like? And it's quite hard to explain. So imagine your favorite restaurant. You love to go there. You love the service, you love the food, you love the ambience about it. And it usually caters for about 50 people. But for tonight, you have that entire restaurant just for 15, 20 of you. And that's exactly the experience that you get when you travel on an ultra luxury yacht, compared to traveling with, say, a bigger cruise ship, which may cater to a 500, 1,000, maybe 1,500 guests. It's just the level and the detail of service. We cater for just 112 guests. We have 2 little ships and a little bit of history and a little bit background about us. We're actually a family-owned company, Norwegian, and our founder started, you might have heard this company, Seabourn, many moons ago. So he started and founded Seabourn, he sold it, and then he created SeaDream about 20 years ago, which is his passion. And he wanted everybody to be able to experience what it's like to travel on an ultra luxury cruise. And this picture, I think, typifies what a luxury yacht cruise is about. And and we very much, you saw the strapline on the previous slide there, we say it's yachting, not cruising. And this is exactly why we can get you into all the tiny little bays that big ships can't get into. We can get away from the crowds, and trust me, there's never been a time in our lives when we want to get away from crowds as we do right now. So we're seeing a really, really great success at the moment. We're getting a lot of regulars coming to us, but we're also seeing a lot of new customers come to SeaDream, which is absolutely fantastic. Once you come on board with us, we look after you. It's all inclusive. So all your fine wines, your champagnes, your cocktails, fine dining experience, all your gratuities. The only thing you have to pay for is your shore excursions, and we do charge for Wi-Fi, which is $99, and that's it. We like you to experience it as it's your own yacht. So for example, we're moored up, anchored up here, and you could literally jump off the back of our little jetty and you could swim to that beach if you wanted to. And obviously you don't have to, because we have a little tender, our little speedboats that will take you straight to that beach. But you'll get to the beach and realize it's far too expensive for a cocktail, and you'll wave to the crew and they'll come and pick you back up and whisk you back up, and you'll have a gorgeous cocktail up on your lovely sun lounger up on the deck. And that's the essence of it. And whilst I'm going to be talking about mainly the Caribbean today, it's the same essence in the Mediterranean, going to the tiny little ports that big ships can't get to, away from the tourists. And even when we do go to tourist areas like Venice, for example, we're so small, we moor up where the river ships are. If you think about it, we're carrying less customers than most river ships, even though we're quite a little bit bigger. So that tells you how much space is also on board, which again is a very important element of travel, certainly at the moment. So that's what SeaDream's all about. So as I said, I'm going to take you around the Caribbean, and I'm going to give you an example of a typical kind of 3-4 nights, some of the destinations that you can go to with the Caribbean. Now, this is a little map that I like to show, and yes, I have to highlight Barbados. It's going great guns. I don't know if that's a sales terminology or not, but it's going great guns, and it's so pleasing to see. And as a fact, we've just, because of how well it's doing, we've just introduced 2 new Barbados cruises for later on this year, the 26th of November and the 4th of December. And that's because us Brits, we can go direct from London to Barbados. I mean, there's a reason why we're nearly full for February next winter. You know, part of it is all those disappointed customers that couldn't travel this last winter. They are booked to go again next year. But then another, you know, as I said, we're seeing a surge of new clients to SeaDream, people that want to go to the Caribbean, they want to get away next winter, but they want to go on a small ship to tiny islands, which is just fantastic. And the reason we've been able to introduce those new cruises for November, December time is because we've changed our dry dock, which should have been for 2 weeks at the end of this year. And we're just doing it now while the ship's not in operation. So Barbados is a definite hit at the moment. We then go from Barbados and we go up through into San Martin. I love San Martin. If anybody's never been, you have to just go for the airport experience. I better explain myself, hadn't I? Yeah, I mean, the airport goes right over the beaches. It's just incredible. I remember on my last day, we got a day hotel, a day room, and went to the beach, and it was just, oh, absolutely fabulous. But I'm not here to talk to you about airports. The whole of this region, St. Bart's, I love. I'm going to talk to you a little about St. Kitts, St. Nevis, Sabah. And then we go on to the San Thomas and Puerto Rico, and we go via the British Virgin Islands. And now you're getting really exclusive and really, really special. So you might have been to the Caribbean before, but have you been to these islands? And then if we've got any regular SeaDreamers on, hello. And a new itinerary for next winter, for January, is Palm Beach. So nice and easy, straight into Miami. And yeah, if somebody's looking, because our regulars are always looking for something different to do with us. So as I mentioned, these are just a few of the little islands that we can take you to, and I'm gonna tell you about some of my experiences on some of these lovely little islands. So let's start with St. Bart's. I love it. It's my favorite. It's the Riviera of the Caribbean. There's so much to do and see here. We usually spend an evening here, as in an overnight, but if we don't spend an overnight, we definitely stay till late to make sure that all our guests get to really enjoy this experience, because it's all about bars, restaurants, shopping, the boutique shopping. I love, there's a Nikki Beach here. I love going there. And then it's just in the corner there, that's a little hike. You can just, and say it's, you know, about 10-15 minute walk, and you can get to Shell Beach from where we drop you off from the ship. And the ship it's anchored in the distance. We just take you to the jetty and you get to explore St. Bart's. One of the other things you could do is you could do a buggy, a quad bike. Couldn't think of the word then. The quad bikes, they're great fun. So that's a shore excursion. But like I said, you don't need to do shore excursions. You can easily get to Shell Beach, or you can take yourself to Nikki Beach. My advice is have a lobster and champagne lunch. Do that first, then go shopping in St. Bart's, and you won't even notice how much everything costs. It'll just, you know, it's fine until the next day. So no, I absolutely love it. And I just remember one of my memories, just walking back along the promenade, just with all my shopping, and then the crew have already seen you, and they're already sending the tender to come and get you. So it's just the two of you, and you get back and you whiz back onto your own yacht. That's exactly what it feels like. And then the evening, sat down having dinner. I generally always have dinner under the stars because I'm British. I want to sit outside and just seeing St. Bart's twinkle in the distance. So hopefully I'm setting the scene for you. Another example is Sabah. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but I loved this island. Absolutely loved it. This is a picture of me and my friend, and it's in the distance. I've tried to put it far away because we're a little bit hot and sweaty because we've done the trek with the crew up in the morning. For obvious reasons, you don't do it in the midday sun. But my goodness, the views are incredible. And it's a complete contrast to St. Bart's. But that's why I love it. And this is why I love yacht cruising, because no big ship can go here. I remember waking up, having breakfast, and I just felt like I was in Jurassic Park world. It was just incredible, just the views, so mountainous. I don't think you typically go to this island on holiday because there's no beaches. And, you know, as I said, certainly for me, I wouldn't, because, you know, I love to go where I can with a beach and relax and stuff. So yeah, to go and visit this island, I think we went to a little we had some lunch and we went to a rum distillery, and then, yeah, we set off later that afternoon to go and explore a new island. And that's basically the essence of what it's all about. Now, this is Virgin Gorda, and a lot of people confuse this with the Seychelles, which I can imagine why. It's with the granite rocks and that beautiful crystal clear sea. It does, you know, I can see why there's a confusion, but it's definitely the Virgin Islands. And again, we anchor up just off Spanish Town. We're there in the early hours of the morning, so that for those guests that like to get up early, we can get you straight onto the beach, and you can go and swim in the caves and the baths before any other tourists arrive. And it really is magical. And it's just those little touches. It's just getting away from the crowds. And then we go off, we can go and explore other parts of the island. We go past Necker Island, so we give Richard Branson a little wave. This is how exclusive these little islands are that we're visiting. So it's very special. And then this is another example. So this is, I've kind of kept to the British Virgin Islands, and this is Josh Van Dyke. And this is great, this island. This is a typical one where we spend, because the island is quite big, we spend an overnight here, and we'll spend 2 days. So we'll spend the morning and most of the day on White Bay, and then we travel around later and we go to Great Harbour, and there's a great little bar there called Fox's, and you can only get there if you have a little yacht. And so it's just, you become part of this exclusive jet set, and you go to Fox's, and we're there, like I said, to the early hours of the morning. And yeah, the captain is well aware that half the guests aren't back on board, so the ship's not going anywhere without you, and that's what it's like. This beach, White Bay, I mean, just that, what we wouldn't do to be there right now, but what we do is we have our caviar and splash parties. Now, these are pretty special. I'm going to talk to you about these. And we have the beach just for our guests. Okay, and our caviar and splash parties are basically caviar and champagne, or it might not be champagne. You might want a soft drink because it's the sun, or you might want a cocktail, but basically I recommend champagne. And this is Thomas, our chef, and yes, just I can almost see it, I can almost taste it. And our customers, these are very infamous about SeaDream. Our customers love our caviar and splash parties. They're on every single Caribbean cruise. Okay, we always, it's probably the day that everybody remembers, that resonates as just one of those magical moments. The crew are what makes SeaDream. I know everybody says their crew's amazing, and I know they probably are, but ours have been with us, most of them, for 20 years since we've been operating. Definitely Thomas, and this is Jamie. He started as a waiter. He's now he then was maitre d', and he's now our hotel director. They've been going to the Caribbean for 20 years. So the places that they will take you and you will get to experience with them, it's their second home. So, and you become part of this special little family when you travel on SeaDream. So that's some of the islands. Now, if we look at what to experience when you're on board SeaDream, well, technically you're not on board here, are you? You're on a jet ski. So much fun. You can go quite fast. I tried to push it and then I was scared that was going to fall off, so I didn't push it any further. But you know, they don't put a barrier on. You really can go as fast as you want. The banana boats are great fun. You can go paddle boarding, which I love. So sometimes, especially when we're in Europe, there's certain places where we're not allowed to use the motorized sports, which I totally get. And some places in the Caribbean as well, some beaches. So it depends how far we are out. What I also love is when they put the swimming platform out and then they have a little swim area that you can swim in. Even if you're not a confident swimmer, you have to swim. You have to jump off the back. There's so many crew there. They're always there to look after you. It's so exhilarating just jumping off the back of the ship. You can't do that on a massive cruise ship. And these are just all the little moments that are really special in life that will stay with you and your family and friends forever. And another things that we can do is we have our Tai Chi and yoga, and we quite often have those on the beaches, especially in the Caribbean in the morning. We sometimes do a sunrise one. And then the bikes, going off on the bikes. I love this. You can just hire a bike, just 2, 3, 4 of you, or you can go out with the captain or the cruise director. Word of warning, unless you're quite fit, go out with the cruise director, because the captain does go quite, you have to keep up with him. So yeah, that's my advice is if you're fit, go for it. But if not, I tend to just go with the cruise director, which is great. And like I said, they'll take you to lots of hidden little places in the Caribbean, lots of little gems and beaches and rum shacks. Maybe not when you're on the bikes, maybe, but because you're not allowed to have a drink when you're on the bike. But yeah, take you to those little hidden gems. So you've had a great little bike ride and you've come back on the ship, and the crew have noticed that you missed lunch. So they've come over to you and they've asked you what you fancy, and going to have a little goat's cheese salad, maybe a little bit of cheese and biscuits. And you can order from our menu all day, all evening, early hours of the morning, bit peckish, absolutely fine. And we also have the pool bar. So we have early risers breakfast, late risers breakfast, lunch, afternoon snacks, pool bar, which does all sliders and club sandwiches. And then we have an inside and an outside restaurant, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in a minute. But yeah, they notice if you miss a meal. I wish they wouldn't, but they do. And then we have a really, really large pool space on board. It's probably one of the largest in the yachting world. And we do a lot of parties for charters, and we can easily get 200 guests. We do a canapé and cocktail party. So even though we only cater for 112 to sleep, we can have 200 up on the deck. That's how much outside space we've got. And we've got 95 crew. Now, we very rarely go at 112 because we quite often get some solo customers come with us, or a couple of last minute cancellations for whatever reason. So we've pretty much got a 1-to-1 guest to crew ratio, and that's the difference. And they just get to know you. So they get to know what mood you're in. They know you've missed a meal. They know your favorite cocktail. They know you don't want a cocktail because they know how many they served you the night before. They just get to know you, and it's just they anticipate what you want before you even knew you wanted it, and it's incredible. Now, if you want to get away and hide, then that's also fine. We've got so much space and so many lovely little areas, nooks and crannies, I guess I'll call them, where you can just go away and just hide, read your books. This is one of my favorite areas. It's the Balinese Beds. You can sit on the beds and you can watch the world and watch the sea. You can't do this on an ocean ship because you're right there on the yacht. You're on the eye line. So when the ship is cruising, you can see the birds ducking into the sea, picking up the fish, especially when the ship's moving. They love the wake of the ship. So it's just incredible. And I'm going to stop using the word magical, but it is. Now, we don't have balconies because you'd get a little bit wet. That's how small we are. But don't let that put you off going on SeaDream for all the reasons that I've just talked about. Getting away from the crowd, the service, the experience. There's plenty of places to hide away. And there's this little sprinkling, I'm going to have to think of another word for magic, that happens when you travel on SeaDream. Because we don't have balconies, it's really quite a sociable experience if you want it to be. And I think after a year of being stuck in our houses, not seeing anybody, I can't wait to get back on board and to be sociable. But that's not for everybody, and we understand that. But if you enjoy being sociable and you like the sound of going to really intimate little ports, getting away from the crowds, then the only way to do it is on a yacht. So talking about dinner, and I said we have two restaurants. We have an inside restaurant and an outside restaurant. They both serve exactly the same food, and it's all completely fresh. It's another thing with having a yacht. We don't have. I mean, we sometimes fly in lobster, but you know we can't keep everything on ice. We don't have the room, so everything is served completely fresh to order. When we do our med cruises, one of our favorite things, instead of the Caviar and Splash, Thomas will do a chef's walk. So we'll take you around he takes you to where he gets all his supplies from, and you get to try all the rosé, the sausage and the cheeses. And because these are our suppliers, you know, they're not stingy. They're like, yes, this is the SeaDream guest. Yes, and you know, because that's who we spend our money with. So our guests love the chef's walks. But I'm digressing a little bit. I'm talking about dinner, aren't I? So yes, you can see from this picture that it's very casual. There's no dressing up. Again, it's fitting with that yacht lifestyle. The food and wine is the best that you will get at sea. Again, this is another reason we have such a high repeat service. And I know we've got a lot of agents that travel with us, travel agents, which is always a good sign, because they're the ones that know all the inside best ships to go on. And that's why we have a high repeat of customers. And again, going down to that little attention to detail, we get some customers that will send our chefs a special meal that they want us to cook in advance. That's absolutely fine. We also have a raw menu. Our actual owner is vegan, so that's very much part of being healthy and having that option when you travel with us as well. So we can cater for everything. We don't, just like Panache, we don't like to say no. And then it's cocktail hour. I've kind of missed out sunset. I love sunset. That's when everybody kind of contravenes in the bar and talks about their day and what they got up to that day, whether they managed to keep up with the captain or not. But and again, being on a yacht, you're right there on the eye level of the ocean. The amount of time I've tried to find the best bar in the Caribbean and had lunch, we'll go back here for sunset. And we get there, the staff are rude or it's heaving, and we just think, what are we doing? Let's get back on the ship. Like, honestly, the views of sunset are the best in the Med and in the Caribbean you'll ever get. After dinner, it's very sophisticated. We have cocktail parties, we have our piano bar. But if you just want to get away from it, then actually we have the library, where a lot of people will just sit and read a book or a newspaper, or just maybe a couple of people might contravene in there just for a very kind of low level kind of chat, just because they want a quieter evening. But really, to me, part of is the food. And just eating out, you know, it's a tasting menu every night if you want it to be. So dinner can go on for what seems like forever, and then, like I said, a few cocktails afterwards, or maybe movies under the stars, which is always lovely. Especially, for example, when we're in Greece, we might play Mamma Mia, which everybody loves. So we try and, you know, where possible, make it relevant to the destinations that we're traveling to. So I've talked very much about under the stars, dining under the stars, but you can also sleep under the stars as well. Those Balinese beds, I mean, that's the main ones there, but we also have lots tucked away around the corner, and you can sleep under the stars, which is something, again, that I think everybody should try if you come away with us, because it's just really, really special. Most people get up halfway through and go downstairs, but a lot of people do stay, and then they'll have our early risers breakfast. But these are our rooms. So as I mentioned, no balconies, but they're a very, very good size. They lead in at 200 square foot, 195. All have ocean view windows. Now, our owner suites and our Admiral suites do get booked up. Just checking on the time. They do get booked up quite quickly. But if you like more space, what we recommend is getting our Commodore Suite, which is basically 2 of the lead-in rooms put together, so almost 400 square foot. So they're a really nice ample size. So plenty of space if you want it, but to be honest with you, the amount of time you're going to spend in your room. And then this is perhaps this couple. I mean, I wish I looked like this for an early riser's breakfast, but this is maybe a couple that perhaps slept under the stars and that they're going to join us for an early riser's breakfast. You see they're in their pajamas. That's absolutely fine. This is your yacht. And that's actually their own pajamas with their name. Sorry, SeaDream pajamas. We've stitched their names into it. So everybody gets their own pajamas to keep when they travel on SeaDream. So again, it's just about those little touches, those luxury touches. So that's it, me nearly finished around the Caribbean. I had to mention Barbados because it's selling so well. So this is our cruise on the 12th of December. But as I mentioned, we've got 2 more cruises now. And I believe the one on the 4th of December is a slightly different itinerary, and it's going up to St. Bart's, so which I believe will be popular. Well, maybe that's just me, but as I said, I love St. Bart's. So this one is going around to the Spice Islands, and Beckway is very similar to what I was talking about, Josh Van Dyke. You can only get there if you've got a yacht. And then Moray is where we have our caviar and splash parties. February is sold out, but as a, like I said, we have launched 23. So winter 22-23, and we've introduced 7 Barbados round trips for next winter to help cope with the demand. So that's the Caribbean. I can't go without just talking to you about the Med. I mean, I could do a whole 30 minutes on the Med, but hopefully you'll have me back to chat about the Med. We go to 120 different destinations. We go to the Black Sea, Turkey, Greek islands, very popular at the moment. Again, that's another couple of cruises that we've just introduced. We had a couple of charters that we've changed about, so we've introduced a couple of Greek cruises to keep with that demand. But Adriatic and Riviera and the Amalfi Coast tend to be the most popular for yachting. And then we're going to be in Seville in June. And yes, we're hoping to cruise in June. So I'll tell you a little bit more about why and how in a second. These are some of just our highlight destinations. Portofino, exactly the same, being able to get into the little yacht and into the little bays with the yacht and just having the best view for dinner. How many times have we all gone to a little Med town and you either had to book a month in advance to get the best restaurant, or you just can't find anything decent? Amount of times people come off, they have dinner off the ship, and then they come back to Thomas the next day and say, we're not doing that again, we're staying on board. And like I said, you have the best view. Monte Carlo, we were there for the Grand Prix next year, but actually we're going to it's going to be chartered. It's open for charter now for 3 nights. So I'm sure Panache would love you if you want to do a 3-night charter for Monte Carlo next year. And then this is us in the Corinth Canal. I'd just like to show this because I just think it shows you the size of SeaDream and how small we are. And this is, again, another really special experience that a lot of people like to do as part of our Greek cruises. And I've just mentioned Greece is the new hot destination since their vaccine news, and that very much coincides with what we're about to announce as well. If you are hoping to travel this year, you've had your vaccine and you're like, yes, I'm ready. Well, we're ready to take you. We want to operate from June, as long as the UK government allows. We're stipulating that you have to have a vaccine. All our crew will be getting on a minimum of 2 weeks and isolating. And then from then on, we will request everybody to travel with us who has a vaccine. So that's hot off the press. That's just been announced. There's nothing official yet. So that's a little insider scoop for Panache customers. But if you do want to travel this year, then actually you're protected. So not our Christmas cruises, but everything else, you can just book your cruise and then you can change for whatever reason. And that reason might be that the UK government won't allow us to travel, in which case we'll come, you can cancel anyway. But it might be nothing to do with actually, when can we travel? We're hoping to find out more, by the way. A task force for the UK government is being delivered on travel for the 12th of April. So maybe put that date in your diary. So fingers crossed we'll know a little bit more about travel then. The signs already are great for UK cruises on the 17th of May, so we're confident. But yes, if you're looking to travel maybe September, October, maybe November time, those Barbados cruises, then you book with us now. You can change your cruise for whatever reason, and it doesn't have to be a COVID reason. There's so many things that have happened. So for example, it may be that your niece is getting married, and actually she's changed her wedding date already 3 times, and she's suddenly managed to get a date in October, and you can't miss your niece's wedding. Fine. Just let us know and you can change it completely with no charge. Now, if you're traveling at Christmas next year or 23, we've changed. It's only £40 to cancel. It's basically a £20 per person admin fee. Or if there's a big family group of you, multi-generation, it's £40 to cancel. So I would suggest booking now, because you're going to get the prices now. All the airlines are offering the same flexible terms. If you leave it 6 months, the price will go up, the availability on the cruise that you wanted will be gone, and you won't have these flexible conditions. You will for the future bookings, but we won't have the flexible booking conditions for 21. So that's all things to be aware of. We've put in place lots of things so that you can have the confidence to book your holiday, whether it be November this year, early next year, or 2023. We've put it in place because I think people just want to have something tangible to look forward to. Now, speaking about weddings, if you want to get married on board, if you know somebody who wants to get married on board, let us know. Like I said, we're just in the process of changing a few dry docks, so there's even a few dates for later on this year. You don't have to do the whole 7 nights, you can just do 3 nights. It's on average about $100,000 a day, but if you think about that, we get over 100 customers, and if we're in port, we can get up to 200 on board. Doesn't have to be a wedding, could be a missed celebration. You and 50 friends and all their children and families want to come on board. So it actually works out, if you do about 3 nights, works out about £4,000 or £5,000 each. So just a little drop that one in there, you never know. So what are we going to do? Catherine, am I all right to carry on just to chat about our COVID procedures?
Yeah,
because
that's fine. You go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, just because I think it's important. So whilst the landscape is still quite unclear, for example, we don't know if the UK will allow us to travel in June. We're waiting to find that out. What we do know is how we will operate and how we plan. And we operated all last summer in Norway with our Scandinavian clients. Transmission rates there were very low. We're already finding out the data from vaccines is that the transmission rates are amazing. So as in very, very low. So this is why we're confident we can travel when if we advise everybody that they have a vaccine. However, when you come, you get to the dock, we will take your luggage, we will defog it, no handbags are harmed in this process, I promise you, and you will get to see our doctor. It'll be staggered embark all the way out through, so you'll have a specific time that you need to come. You will have your temperature taken with the doctor, answered some questions. You will have probably had to do this as well to arrive into whichever country you're arriving into. And then we will have our rapid flow test. It's the same one that they use in the White House. And we will always have that. And the reason why, even if you've had the vaccine, is because of our crew. We need to protect our crew because they may not have been vaccinated by June. So just as a little bit of history. And also with wearing masks, common sense, a little bit like now, when you're sat at the pool bar and you're drinking a cocktail and you're having a little bit of a snack, absolutely no. But when you're walking in the gangway or the lift, then yes. So communal areas where you're walking around, you will be required to wear a mask, and our crew will be wearing masks, but you don't. 99% of the time, if you're on SeaDream, you've got a glass of something in your hand and you're having a little munch of something. So you won't be wearing your mask very often. As far as cleaning, again, we've done all this, so we know it all works. So we have the ultra pure machines that they use in hospitals, and they're not just used on debark and embark. They're used every single day to deep clean the rooms, and then while the guests are all asleep, we deep clean all the communal areas. We also have the ultraviolet lights that we put in every single room while the customers are out of the room, and they're on for at least an hour, and they kill 99% of all germs. And then we have our temperature checks, like I said, every time you get on and off the ship. So if you've been offshore, you will have a temperature check. And then we also have the mats. I always say it disinfects your feet. It doesn't disinfect your feet. That would be a bit harsh. Disinfects your shoes. So those are the procedures that we had operating all last summer. And because of those procedures, we're able to create the perfect little bubble on board, which is exactly what we plan to do. Like I said, if you're ready to come in June, hopefully we will be great. But if not, you know, we even though we're quite busy for September, October, we've managed to just introduce a couple more cruises where we've changed our dry docks around. So yes. So if you would like to book with Panache Cruises, then as a thank you for coming along today, we will give you £400 off, and you can use that off anything. It can be this year, it can be next year, or it can be 2023, but you must book by the 24th of March. So that's it from me. I'm hoping I've answered all questions. Oh, I'm going to play a little video. I forgot about that. I'm going to play that now.
Experience the ultra-luxury yachting lifestyle on a series of brand new 7-day round-trip voyages from Barbados to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada with the multi-award-winning SeaDream Yacht Club. You'll experience a very different kind of travel experience on a mega yacht that's defined by its casual elegance, intimate atmosphere, and extraordinary service levels. With a 1-to-1 guest-to-crew ratio, inclusive open bar and gratuities, ocean view accommodations, luxury Thai certified spa, and world-class cuisine, and with around only 112 guests at a time, a SeaDream voyage feels like the ultimate personal getaway. Be pampered and relax, or opt for activities and adventure with our private marina and water toys. The choice is always yours. SeaDream has been successfully operating since June in Norway and has comprehensive measures in place to ensure the health and safety of our guests and crew during these times. We also have our ultimate book.
And that's it. So sorry, just because it goes on for quite a lot, but tells you everything you need to know about. Hopefully I've answered quite a lot of COVID questions there as well. Is there any more questions for me, Catherine?
There was just a couple. So
yeah.
Just regarding single travellers, how does it work? Are there any offers? Do you have like lead-in supplements on select sailings or anything?
As we're such a small ship, I'm going to confess, we're not the best solar supplements in the industry, but they start for the Caribbean about at 75%. So
Right.
you pay 75% of the fare.
Right. No.
For the Med, they don't always have as many, but the trick is book early to get the soap, because there's only so many, and then it goes up to 100%. But we do really look after our solo customers on board, and the crew are brilliant, and you can choose to dine with people, and they'll work out who you want to dine with that evening, and you'll make so many friends. So definitely would recommend.
Brilliant. Thank you. And it was just a question on deposits. So what is the deposit amount? Is it different depending on what year we're booking, or is it a set percentage?
Oh, it's 25%. So I know that you'll only be charged £40 if you travel, if you cancel for 22 and 23, but you pay a 25% and you get that money back. Now, just talking about refunds, because that's something I didn't talk about. Hopefully it's going to be a thing of the past soon, but we on average look to get our refunds back within 2 weeks to customers. So if you have
really
had,
good.
yeah. So I think that's important to mention as well.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. Thank you. There weren't really any other questions. You kind of covered everything.
Good. Sorry, I did go a bit over, so I apologise.
Amazing. Thank you. I really want to go on one now.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. Thanks, Natalie. So
get your suitcase ready for June. Sorry.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So obviously, to reiterate the event incentive, so it's going to be £400 off per cabin for any sailing date that you want to book. So do let me know if you want to look at some options. Now, we do have some digital copies of the brochure. If you'd like one, do let me know. Natalie also has some brand new brochures. She's just received some hard copies. Anybody would like a hard copy of a new brochure, come back to me. We can arrange to have one sent out to you, which is great. But if there's any other questions, do email me back. What I will do is pop the webinar onto an email. I'm going to send it to everyone who's joined and it's also registered and hasn't had a chance to join the minute. I'll send it out and then obviously have a look through, and any questions, come back to me. So other than that, thank you for joining us. Thanks, Natalie. It was amazing. So yeah, I'll leave it with you. So I will be in touch. It'll either be later today or tomorrow morning. I'll send it out to everybody. And obviously any questions, any feedback, do let me know. So thank you. Have a nice rest of the day, everyone, and we will be in touch with you all. Bye.
Bye. Bye.